Welcome back to the Track Limits podcast presented by Formula Addict. We're here at Creator Club Studios in Toronto. The Italian Grand Prix has just ended. A couple of Ferrari fans here. Henny,
I'm neutral.
Neutral?
I'm neutral for this race.
Okay. That's pretty good. But a lot to unpack. Before we even get into the reflection, we have a wonderful new guest host, Sakshi. Tell the Track Limits community who you are, who you support, how you got in F1.
Hello everyone, I'm Sakshi. I got into F1 I think just through you guys, the watch parties that we have. Netflix Drive to Survive, obviously. And a Ferrari fan, hardcore Ferrari fan right here. Happy to be here.
Big Charles Leclerc fan as well.
Yes.
And Sainz.
So a lot to get through. 10th to first, reading it out. 10th, we had Valtteri Bottas, Alfa Romeo back in the points.
Well done.
Honestly, that took me by surprise.
Yeah.
It would have been
like
Lawson's
a whole 20
spot.
minutes after the race. I'm like, what?
Where did he come from?
9th, we had Alonso, and then in 8th, Norris. 7th, Alexander Albon.
He did
Driver of the season.
Drive the season. I agree.
Yes.
6th, Lewis Hamilton. We'll talk about that. 5th, George Russell. 4th, Charles Leclerc. 3rd, Carlos Sainz. A really good day for Ferrari with the 3rd, 4th. And then you had a 1-2 with Red Bull, Sergio Perez in 2nd. And 1st, the 10th win in a row history has actually been made in front of our eyes. Max Verstappen.
And 15 consecutive wins for Red Bull. Another record.
Never happened.
Yep.
Which is incredible. We had 2 DNFs. We had Yuki Tsunoda, who didn't even start the race, which is very sad.
Sad days.
And we had Ocon, which we believe is a mechanical failure right now. We didn't actually look into it. We literally just had the race end. But we had the fastest lap to Oscar Piastri, which didn't really mean much, but good for him.
Yeah.
He did something.
I mean, after that
was
fight
sad.
and basically ruining his race due to Lewis's very silly mistake, this at least builds morale.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But Henny, unpack the race for us. Like, I want to hear from your vantage point. You're a big Red Bull fan. You've been reading about, this difference between Sergio's car coming in and Max's car coming in. What did you think?
Yeah, no, I think they made the right call, especially with Max. He had a lot riding here to break the record, and he chose to have a race car that was set up to go longer on the tire degradation. And that you can see it right there. He waited until Carlos made a mistake. He didn't really have to overtake him, and that was the moment that you saw that strategy come into place. And Checo knew that he wasn't going to pretty much qualify really high up, and for that reason, he chose a low wing so he can overtake a lot of the drivers, and we saw the outcome. And hey, Red Bull with their strategies, they're incredible. Look at that. Yeah, unbelievable.
I hate to see, I'm so happy for Checo, but despite the 1-2 Red Bull and like people could say, oh, the same person's winning, blah, blah, blah. The race was actually made so much more interesting because of all the overtaking and like the battle between Max and Sainz for the first 15, 16 laps. And then you had Checo against Leclerc.
Both Ferraris.
And then overtaking. That was
incredible.
Yeah, it was
Even
pretty
Checo
fun.
against Russell.
Yeah, Checo.
At the first few laps.
Oh, yes.
Russell was just playing defense, burning through his tires.
Yeah.
But that was pretty exciting. I thought it was a really good race as well. I think the overtakes were fantastic. I personally really liked the battle between Carlos and Max.
Yeah.
That was exciting to watch the first 15, 16 laps. I think we all knew eventually Max would have overtaken him.
Wishful thinking.
But we were really hoping.
Yeah. It was the first 15 laps, the last 5 laps.
Yeah.
So stressful between Carlos and Charles. Like,
Oh, that was
sweating.
spicy.
Yeah.
It was good to see Ferrari letting them race.
Yeah.
No one. They didn't give team orders. They said until the end, let's race it. Even though Carlos was like, let's bring this home, guys, please. Let's not battle.
Just give me one.
There was no intimidating.
Yeah, none.
I'm curious, do you think if that was Mercedes, they would have let the same thing happen? Or Red Bull? I mean, Red Bull has a principle around letting their drivers fight.
Yeah, I think Red Bull would have allowed it for a few laps, but I don't think they would have allowed it to go as long as Ferrari did.
And not on
And
a
with so many
monumental
mistakes.
weekend
That-
like
no,
this
hell no.
week.
Yeah.
And no.
Some scary mistakes too.
Yeah, costly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when the margin is so fine and when you're really hungry, I mean, you're bound to try to break late, break while moving.
Sketchy moment.
Sketchy
What are you
moment.
alluding to, Feven?
Yeah.
But despite that, I think it's just like sheer wanting hunger. So like that was like you could like we were all I was taking videos in the background. We're all standing at one point and just like nail biting, especially the last 5 laps.
Yeah.
were
Yeah, it looked like a DNF was coming. A boat.
100%.
Oh man.
Especially when the tires go. I mean, the amount of lockups we
Lockups,
saw
yeah.
by Carlos
Yeah.
Sainz alone, but even just generally, and then turn one, the amount of people that cut that
Yeah.
corner
Yeah.
because they were like, braking too late,
Yeah.
and it was amazing to see though that fair racing was happening
Yep.
kind of throughout.
Yeah.
Sir Lewis Hamilton,
Sir Lewis Hamilton.
that was
What's
a little
going on?
bit problematic.
Yeah. Funny enough, though, as we were watching it live, everyone's like,
Everyone blamed
Oscar,
Piastri.
how can you do that? And then we're like, we watched the replay.
It's like when you're at work and you blame the intern.
Yeah, yep.
He's the rookie. What are you doing, rookie?
I think also especially after last race with
Yeah.
him and Carlos Sainz,
Yeah.
and everyone's
Yeah.
like, Piastri, amateur.
Yeah.
What's he doing here?
Exactly.
Both Mercedes drivers got a 5-second penalty.
Wow.
Do we feel like both of them were deserved?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, for especially, well, think about it. For Russell, he had no reason.
I agree.
He could have gave it back and beat him on the next lap. Like there was no reason for you to still not give that position back, knowing you cut that
Yeah.
corner. Like it was just a silly mistake. And same with Lewis. I mean, you're a veteran. You have to give that space.
I think
I
as I
feel
was
bad
saying,
for Piastri.
Yeah.
That ruined
Yeah.
his race. He was running in the
100%.
points. Like he's doing so well. That
Yeah.
ruined it.
Yeah.
I think Lewis is probably anticipating that Piastri would maybe back down or back out of taking
Yeah.
that line. But I mean, it's impressive because Piastri, though he's bold and he has made rookie mistakes, he isn't actually letting up.
Yeah, he's hungry.
He's hungry and he's putting his shoulders, his arms out and racing.
Yep.
He's also always super composed. You don't see
yeah.
anything,
No
any
emotions on that,
emotion.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then what about the best moment of the race, Sakshi? What was like the moment that got you super excited?
I was really rooting for Alex Albon. P6, running P6 for so long. And then obviously because of the penalty, he got it back. He should have been driver of the day.
I agree.
Who was driver of the
Carlos
day?
Sainz.
Signs.
I mean, maybe, but
Yeah.
like, come on.
I
think,
was really
people
rooting for
voted
him.
super early while he was
Yes.
still
True.
ahead, and once
But to
they
hold
realized
back
the end.
two McLarens for so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah, really rooting for him. I enjoyed that part.
Albon has done that a couple times this season. He's
Yeah.
like the greatest defender.
I was literally talking to Henny. I'm pretty sure, like, on all our previous episodes, we have mentioned Albon's brilliance at least
almost every.
once.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Every single episode, when I'm like every time I reflect or when I'm watching the race, I'm like, I've never been more impressed by a driver
Yep.
who in a not great car. I mean, they do have really great top line speed for this track, but just the car itself and the way what Albon is extracting out of it, and I keep saying this again, like this, he's the driver of the season.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
Yeah, since Australia, since his last mistake there,
Yeah.
crashing,
Yeah.
he has not made many mistakes after that. He was locked in. He's like, I gotta bring this back.
Yeah. I'm almost like keeping a tally of like my own, like he's breaking records in my head.
Not on the stats, but you know.
He's winning
but
podiums in my heart.
in my heart.
I want to see it at the end of the season, Feven's history book.
a
That'll be a
stat will
very
show up.
entertaining one.
Henny, your best moment?
Best moment, I would have to give it out to Checo's battle with both Ferraris.
Yeah,
I think
that was
even
fun.
during the post interview, he was like, I was stuck in a DRS train with both Ferraris. I had to get Charles out of the, I guess, the DRS, and he forced him to lock up or under brake late, which gave him that 1 second gap away from Carlos, which gave him DRS. And look at that, he's on P2. I think that was my favorite moment.
That was definitely not your favorite moment.
No, absolutely not. I mean, before we even left the house, I put on this jacket. I was really rooting for Ferrari on podium. I said this last time when we were watching the Dutch Grand Prix. So the fact that one of the guys, well, actually Sainz, really, I mean, he hasn't been on podium since 2022, Brazil, or no, yeah, Brazil. So the fact
Not
that, yeah, Sao Paulo, 2022.
I thought George won.
Then
Lewis
Lewis
was P2.
and then P3
No, that's what I
podium.
said. He's on.
Max
he
wasn't
hasn't-
P3?
No, he was like
No.
6 and 7. You remember
yeah,
checking home?
Checo, yeah.
So he was. Yeah, that was my that was my favorite race.
That was the best race.
That was the
Yeah.
best race. So I will never forget. But the fact to see even after the battle with Charles, he still took the podium. Like
Yeah.
I was living.
And to piggyback off that, I mean, my favorite moment of the weekend was qualifying. To look at the top three with that gap.
Oh, yeah.
It was beautiful. Like, it was so much fun to watch qualifying when
weekend.
it's like that.
Yeah.
And it makes me happy because the next few tracks, I mean, we'll talk about this at the end, potentially close battles will continue.
100%. And I think Ferrari has a making of a great car. We saw it last year and this
Yeah.
year. They just not progressed well enough. But
Yep.
look at, they have the top line speed.
Yeah.
They have good cornering speed. It's just degradation. They
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
If they handle that part of their car, next year is going to be very close. So look, Max struggled on straight line speed. He couldn't catch up to Carlos. He had to wait until he made a mistake.
Yep.
So there's a making of a great car there. They just have to bring it all together under great leadership.
That is a huge important factor.
Great leadership, better pit stops.
Yeah, it starts from the top.
Everything.
Yeah.
And
Strategy
then,
calls.
Speaking of lack of leadership, Alpine.
What's happening to Alpine? Gasly podium last time, and he's like basically last.
Yeah.
Where is he right now?
It makes no sense. They were projected because of their top line speed to perform as well as Williams or even better than Williams. And they were so draggy. They had no top line speed. It's like they completely changed their car in a matter of 2 weeks or summer break, which makes no sense. They can't.
Yeah, I'm confused.
I remember watching like the development race, and there was a video I think F1 shared, and they talked about which cars have made the biggest leap forward.
Yes,
And they found that Alpine started actually as probably the 4th or 5th fastest
strong,
car, and now they're just regressing.
Yeah.
But also, let's not forget there's so much change in that team, right? Like, there's just so much. And, like, as you just said, it starts at the top, and like the leadership team is completely turning over. I mean, I was just saying with Ryan Reynolds' injection of cash, and maybe next season we might see the same thing that he did. You know, the same results for the football team that he invested in. So let's see.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful.
What about the biggest letdown then? Would that be Alpine, or does anyone have a different letdown?
Lewis
Hamilton.
Yeah.
Taking out
I would
Piastri.
also say Oscar Piastri making that move on Lando and almost DNFing both their cars.
Yeah.
Unnecessary. You're coming out of the pit.
Yep.
Your tires are barely warm.
Yeah.
Lando's been a few laps already. Just give him and let's battle on the track with DRS.
Yep.
He almost cost them both a big loss.
Yep.
So I think that was my biggest letdown.
And even beyond Lewis, by the way, for the driving standards, which, definitely was questionable, I think it's also strategy. I mean, to be fair, it worked out for him in terms of P6 at the end, but we were talking about the Zen board, right? Like starts on mediums when everyone else is on softs. Rain is forecasted.
Yeah.
You know, this race starts on hards, like, and goes pits lap 29.
Yeah.
Obviously, degradation is
Old
high.
hards.
Old
Yeah.
hards.
Yeah.
Even
Like,
worse.
I don't get it.
Yeah, again, I'm confused.
Yeah, his side of garage it's from qualifying. It wasn't even just race, qualifying too. Not being in the right positions to have a clean lap. I don't know why. It starts from even practice.
Yeah.
They don't have the right balance, the right setup for him, the way he likes to drive that car, and it just continues.
But
every
this
day
isn't the
after.
first race.
No.
No,
It was
that's
the
what I'm saying.
same-
It's continuous
yeah.
now. It's
Yeah.
become
a weird pattern.
and
I think they're in a rut.
Yeah.
They need to change things up.
And then AlphaTauri, Liam Lawson now is 2-0 up against Yuki Tsunoda.
I don't know if I count this one, but
No? But what do we think? Like,
mean,
I
it's
mean, he
regard-
was running in P11 for a while. Obviously, had to
he-
pit a second
Why
time.
did he have to pit?
and he burned his
Burned
tires.
his tires?
Oh, I see.
But ended P13.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Not
Consistent.
bad.
Last week was
P13.
13.
P13 as well. And I think, honestly,
I'm seeing P11 on my.
oh, there might be a penalty as well.
Yeah,
the-
Lawson is
someone got
11th.
Yeah.
After Bottas. Yeah.
Bottas.
Oh,
Which
well
is
done.
great then.
Yeah.
Huge.
So he's
Yeah.
He started P12.
better
technically.
results than Nick.
And do we feel like when Danny Rick is back then, where do we think Liam Lawson might end up then? Does he get a seat in F1 based on these last two performances? I know he has two more coming up,
Yeah.
Singapore and Japan, but
I think he'll get a seat. It's just a
I don't know
matter
about
of
the year.
Yeah, what year? I was
Yeah.
gonna say I don't know what year. If now that Ricardo's missing 2 or 3 races, he might have to now take next year to prove that he's a Red Bull seat
Yep.
instead of what they had for the next 10 races.
Yep.
So and then Lawson's not gonna go anywhere.
Also,
he's still under
which-
contract.
Which teams are considering like who has
Williams, Alfa Romeo, and AlphaTauri are the 3 seats up in the air.
Oh.
But he's under contract, so
Yeah.
he's stuck with him.
There was one good news from the past week. Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Resigning both drivers.
Both.
Actually, yeah,
right?
George
Yeah.
Russell
Yeah.
too.
We forgot about him.
Yeah.
I was only like when when I saw breaking news, I'm like Lewis.
we kind of already had kind of,
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
put that
It was
aside.
like George is retiring. Can you imagine? We're like, what?
We would have all missed it. We would have just seen Lewis resign.
We're like,
It's
"Woo."
positive though, right?
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
more years for him. I think it's smart
You
before
like
the
him?
regulation change comes in. We were talking about this last night. Sounds weird, but we were talking about it before going to bed.
Yeah.
You know,
We're like, well, we don't know because both of them signed until 2025.
Yeah.
Which means if Lewis resigns 2026, they don't have a plan B or C. Who's like their driver academy is
Right.
quite low in terms of skill level. So they're riding on both of them staying longer.
Yeah.
And I don't know about Lewis. He
Yeah.
might call quits after 2025. right?
Well, new regular like the changes will come into effect in 2026.
Yeah.
Correct.
They could have a much better car.
Everyone's
Or
going
you
in
start
blank.
from scratch.
You don't know. You're starting from scratch.
starting
Yeah.
from scratch, but then it's a better
Playing field?
Reset.
Reset?
Yeah, it's a reset. Why would you quit a year before? It's kind of like
Because you go off
Sebastian.
with your 8
2022
wins.
was a
was
good
a
example.
clean slate.
Yeah.
And
I
look-
understand,
Look how
but
it
like,
turned
listen,
out.
Sebastian Vettel retired a year before they made a car for like that was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there are.
Yeah.
Opportunities.
I mean, we don't have a.
Or
future.
you're like Alonso,
Yeah.
you join and you like raising
Bring
the
it.
team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's Stroll? Crickets.
No, it's difficult. It's difficult. Oh man, Lance Stroll.
He's strolling away.
You know,
Hey, he wants to go into tennis. Let him be. we'll support him in tennis if need be.
Yeah, new podcast coming in.
I know. Can you imagine? Outside of the race, though, anything else that catch our eye? I mean, I wanted to talk even about ATA, alternative tire allocation. This was another race that happened, right?
yeah.
We saw it in Hungary before. 11 tires, not 13. You had
Yeah.
the qualifying rules for hard, medium, and softs. What do we think about it? Do we like it?
I know the last time in qualifying, it was very surprising, and we saw a lot of teams that shouldn't be up in the different qualifying formats were there. But this time around, it looked like there was the same teams. It really didn't change the way the order happened.
Yep.
So I don't know if it really worked, but during the race, we saw Lewis didn't have an extra set of new hards.
Yeah.
So he had to go on used from qualifying,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, we're seeing the strategies being played at hand, but yeah. And we need more. We
Yeah.
need more races to
Yeah.
figure it out.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, though. I do
Yeah.
like the idea of hards, mediums, and
It
softs
changes
for
it.
qualifying.
Yeah.
That is fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the 11. I don't know about the tire allocation for practice. I kind of wish they found a middle ground
Yeah.
where the tire allocation is still 13,
Yeah.
but then you do have the mandatory tire sets.
I think
that'd
that
be fun.
qualifying.
that's what it
Yeah.
was before, right?
No, they don't have mandatory tire sets. They
None.
just go on softs. You manage your allocation of
many
soft
softs you
tires
have,
for
yeah.
Q1, Q2, Q3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we did do the in Hungary where they qualified under the same.
Correct.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
was saying
But-
they still had the 11 tires
11
for
Oh,
practice.
okay, yeah.
So my problem with practice then is that nobody typically
to
goes
read.
out in
Yeah.
FP1 because they're like, why would we burn through all our tires? that we
Yeah,
need?
yeah. That makes
Legit.
sense. Yeah.
FP1, FP2 was just everyone on doing long stints.
Yeah.
And then FP3 are like, okay, let's try qualifying pace. And then we're done.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Right?
Singapore's coming up. My birthplace.
race.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm very
Also a
happy.
night race.
It's
Yes.
a night race.
Like
Street
night races.
Yeah.
Bring it back. Checo.
Very difficult race, though. Every
Yes.
driver says this is one of the toughest races. Humidity, temperature is terrible.
Everything, yeah.
But there's a different track layout this year. So third sector turns 16 to 19 have become a 400-meter long straight.
Great. Bring it.
So it
Come on,
used to be
Albon.
you know, right? It used to be a high
go, Albon.
downforce track, and people were like, Red Bull's gonna have a tough time on it. But I don't know. New track layout might actually be playing into their hands. What do we think?
Yeah, I'm excited to see the midfield. Obviously, I don't know if there's going to be a lot of overtaking, but I'm excited to see what the rest of the gang outside of Max can do. Yeah.
It's getting closer.
And it's a street track again. So we might
Sergio?
see the surgeons of Sergio.
Yeah, it's like king of the streets. I
Yes.
forgot.
And he's coming with a high confidence.
Yeah.
This was a
Yeah,
good race
after
for him.
yeah, he needed that.
Good battles. Like he hasn't seen this in a while. Like let's
So
go.
let's forecast him for P1.
Evan, you are the oracle, though. Tell us, what do you predict the podium will be right now?
She's gonna wear a Red Bull.
I'm gonna
jacket.
wear a Red Bull jacket.
Yes,
I'm gonna
next
wear
week.
the Red Bull.
I'm sorry.
backpack.
No, you need to
There
go
you
to
go.
sleep with the Ferrari jacket on. You cannot be taking that off. We need more. Actually, Ferrari's now in P3 over
And
Aston
constructors,
Martin.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So let's hope for better results for them. But yeah, I do think Checo and Max are going to be P1, P2. Don't know who and in what order.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm seeing.
Predict there.
But yeah,
Who's going to be the third?
to be honest, Ferrari will prefer, it's a good track for them. Even
Yeah.
with that straight being added, it is a track that suits that car. Right? So they might show up.
Mercedes
and, yeah.
will probably show up too.
Oh yeah. And
Right?
McLarens.
And McLarens
Oh yes,
too.
McLarens. This is a
Oh, it's gonna be
really
fun
good
to
track.
Oh yeah,
on Oscar.
yeah.
I'm going to
Yes.
predict one thing, though. Liam Lawson scores his first point
What?
in Singapore. I'm feeling
Let's
it.
do it.
don't know.
I don't know. He has to have
That
a really good
car
qualifying.
No.
It's not suited
I'm
for
telling you,
that
bro.
track.
He's going to score. He's just inching for that.
Yeah.
I
Is it
know
either Liam Lawson or Logan Sargent?
No, Liam Lawson.
Which one?
I don't even know who Logan Sargent is anymore, you know? I was a big fan of him not growing up. Can you imagine?
I've known him all
5
my
years
life.
old. 4-year-old Logan
Been watching him
Sargent.
since the very beginning of his career. Boy, you had no idea who this man was.
Until last year.
No, 100%. literally at the start of the season, I told everyone I loved Logan Sargent. Now I'm in love with Liam Lawson.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
What?
Oscar Piastri.
Funny
Where's
enough,
this
last
going?
year too, we said the same thing when Nick DeVries
Yeah,
did that.
yeah,
We're
he
like, we
did.
love the man. He needs to be in F1. So
Yeah,
We'll see.
I can't wait to do a recap of all our preseason predictions.
predictions all gone.
How off?
Honestly,
how
they're
on
not
point.
that off.
They're not that off.
Bro, I said Nick DeVries is gonna be
Yeah,
the
that was
rookie
the only.
of the
I think everyone's off.
season.
Yeah.
Well, where we're at, Red Bull is now over 550 points overall, correct?
Doubling
With
the
what,
second place.
seven,
Doubling?
Yeah.
No, 6 races to go.
I'm pretty sure
Six
it's
races to go.
doubling because the next what was the standings? I'll tell you.
Would
I think it was
they
like
even break?
273 or something like
Would
that.
they break like 800 points?
They could.
Oh
They
my
could break-
god!
yeah,
that is
100%.
We
absolutely
need one
ridiculous.
Red Bull.
Yeah,
right now.
Mercedes is at 273.
One.
And then wait, what is Max on individually?
Max individually is 364.
He will break
Almost 100
500.
above Mercedes.
yeah.
Yeah, he'll
combined.
break 500.
He is so Checo's 219 against Max's 364.
Love that. Ferrari, like you said, now over Aston Martin. But what's also cool is the gap between Charles and Carlos, which hopefully will make for even more intense battles between the two.
Yeah.
6 points away,
Yeah.
and Sainz is ahead.
Let's go. And both are under contract extension, so this really matters.
Yeah.
It's how you end the season off.
yeah.
For both of
Also,
them.
George is really not that far with so Leclerc is 111. Sorry, 111. I don't know why.
I was like, 1-1-1. I was like, what?
Delulu.
1,111 points. One can dream. George is 109.
Okay.
Very close.
It's close up.
Georgie,
2 points.
Stay back.
A lot of exciting stuff.
Yes.
Well, hope you guys enjoyed this reflection episode. Let us know what you thought of the Italian Grand Prix. And we are going to be posting a big episode coming up, guys. It's probably the biggest
Yes.
to date.
Gunter.
Gunter. Oh, we didn't talk about Haas. Should we just quickly do that at the end?
Yeah, Haas. How did they perform?
Haas.
I can tell you. So Nico Hulkenberg finished in 14th.
Oh,
And K-Mag was unfortunately 18th. But you'll hear what Gunther's thoughts are in terms of this season and what they're doing for next season on our next podcast.
Check that out, guys. And check out our other previous episodes on tracklimitspod.com. We will see you guys all in the next episode.
Bye.